Hi there, I'm Sphinx Akashaa, the champion of Bards, and the creator and proprietor of the Everbright Archive. We like to tell stories here, and the best stories are told with a cup of hot, soothing tea. I'm really proud that our show is affiliated with one of the best tea shops in the multiverse, Friday Afternoon Tea. They're a fantastic family-owned company based right here out of the Pacific Northwest, and they offer amazing teas and tea blends that are made for geeks and by geeks. They specialize in incredible blends based on some of your favorite fandoms. My favorite tea right now is called Number 9 for the Tomb. It's an aged white tea inspired by Tamsin Muir's Locked Tomb trilogy, and that's just one of the fandoms this tea shop is inspired by. To learn more and get some amazing teas of your own, visit FridayTea.com and use the code MULTIVERSE. That's MULTEAVERSE at checkout to get 10% off your total purchase, because we're friends now. See you out there on the Storied Path.
Within each of us is a storyteller, and a story waiting to be told. Universes of our own making that we breathe into life with our very being.
And we tell these stories to live, to relate, to entertain, to understand, and to connect. For we are the stories that help others to understand themselves.
We tell stories that are funny, sad, heroic, common, and fantastical. For we are all these things and more.
And when we come together, share our universes with one another, we create something special. We create a multiverse.
Here, at the center of the multiverse,
we welcome you to sit,
get cozy,
and listen
as we traverse the storied path. Here, we welcome you to the Everbright Archive. And welcome back to another amazing episode of the Everbright Archive. It's actually our second episode, so, what do we know? It might be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. I'm saying it is. I am, of course, your host, Sphinx Akashaa. I am your current champion of Bards, although that seems now to be up to some debate, which is part of the reason why we're here. As my title is under threat by these lovely players that have joined me this cycle to help tell some awesome stories. And I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves so that we can just get, right to it. Starting with Sweet.
What's up, everyone? My name's Sweet Tea. Super excited to be here.
Awesome.
Not sure. Sorry, we're not introducing our characters here. Right?
No.
Okay, cool. Also, at this point.
Well, actually, no. Since we've met your characters last episode, so go ahead and tell us who you're playing.
All right, fair enough. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Sweet Tea. Tonight I will be Malachi Davis.
All right, and then we have Selkie Cove.
Hello, I'm Selkie Cove, and I am playing Blaidd Lady.
Fantastic. The fantastic Madness Diamond.
Hey, I'm Madness Diamond, but since you're friends, so you can call me Diamond. And tonight I will be playing the sometimes unlucky, but always usually causing something to set on fire, Agni.
I love it. And as always, the incomparable Brynniursa.
Yes, that is my official, that is my name for the moment. For the moment. But I am Brynniursa, and I will be playing Jodie Bank this evening. Or day, whenever you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's get right back into it. When we last left our story, we our four isekai heroes were summoned out of their an assembly at the high school they teach, the Sidney Portier Academy for the Gifted, and appeared quite randomly, quote unquote, in what looks like a darkened room that is in the center of what is, and I found it right after we stopped recording. Damn it!
Watch your profanity.
A fixture called an Apollonian gasket, which is basically a series of perfect circles within perfect circles within perfect circles, and in the center circle, which is the circle that they are all now standing in, is also carved a sigil of an eye with a pentagram carved into the iris, with several spirals moving in kind of a spiral nature out of the eye, carved in various symbols and sigils. Also surrounded in some of these other circles are various other sigils as well that have, when they were summoned in, had only just begun to fade in their glow. They were very nearly accosted by a very confused and slightly overzealous guard captain, who definitely caught the ire of Blaidd. But that guard captain was stopped by a lovely Cambrian woman, blue skin, horns, seemed older and wiser, who introduced herself as Mistress Kali Zephyrin, and then knelt before our four summoned, and welcomed them as heroes. So, here is where we begin episode 2, The Coming of the Four. Kali Zephyrin kneels before you, arm up, head bowed. I welcome you, heroes. And almost immediately, the collection of guards behind you, including that overzealous captain, all first stand straight at attention and then kneel behind her.
Do we say anything to them, or do we just kind of bow back?
Jodie takes a knee to the ground.
Hey there, this is Magnus, Goblin Artificer Extraordinaire, and you're listening to the Everbright Archive, a TTRPG actual play anthology podcast series. I hope you're enjoying the show. Now, let's get back to it and see what these crazy kids are up to.
Malachi will follow suit.
Blaidd kind of gives a thumbs up.
And she doesn't quite bow, but it's clear, like, in her expression that, and still her arms being up, her hands still being up, that she's not even surrendering. It's just a very apparent in her expression that she's confused. Her brows are furrowed, and she's trying to mirror.
Excellent. And I'll say, Lysandra, as this is happening, you noticed suddenly there's a weight on your head that wasn't there before?
I think what also kind of gives them that detail is they have a very nervous habit of just going to like scratch their head and they realize there's something fluffy there besides hair. And their head feels heavier, so it's both hands on their head, reaching up, and they start feeling something, and they follow it. And Lysandra soon realizes they have now acquired antlers and fluffy ears. And they don't know how to feel about this. And so these guards are just seeing bewilderment and curiosity of like, did I put my mask on before we left? And is like kind of like tugging at them a little bit and just like, ow, nope, that's me. Okay. And it's kind of just like inspecting what else has changed. And then realizing that Lysandra's a lot taller than they were before. Lysandra was maybe about an average, somewhere between like 5'7", maybe 5'9" if they don't slouch. Now they're standing about 6 foot tall. Not counting the horns.
That's a considerable height difference.
I think they're a little too preoccupied with that. To realize that people are bowing. Or thumbs-upping.
And Kali Zephyrin lifts her head. Initially, it's kind of getting in their peripheral, it looks like that Jodie has knelt, and I'm sorry. You don't have to do that. We kneel at you, my child. You are heroes. You are hopefully the heroes. And she will rise and she will take you by the hands and she will help you stand up. You don't bow to me.
But why are you bowing to me?
Right. This must be confusing for you and for all of you. Yes, and then looks at Lysandra and say, you are, and just kind of gestures at the at your head. You're changed. That happens sometimes. Sorry. Why don't we all take a walk and I can explain? And she will tap her staff to the floor. The other soldiers will then stand immediately upright and will part like the sea. The two on the end will open these large stone double doors. And light just floods into the space. And it takes a moment for your eyes to adjust to it. As you've been in a dark room now for maybe the last 5-10 minutes. But as your eyes kind of resolve with the light, you see what looks like a town that looks nothing like the place you know. And Kali Zephyrin, still holding Jodie's hands, if all of you would just come with me, and she will lead you all outside, and she will say, First and foremost, I would like to welcome you to the world of Phaedos. The continent of Anwanyu, the kingdom and nation of Solim, and the rather pleasant town of Dawngate. And as you all walk outside, you see that you are in a beautiful, like very picturesque, very, very green, but also you notice there is technology here that is, for a town that looks like it's like it's shot straight out of like a fantasy novel. There is more technology here than you anticipate seeing. There are solar panels on the tops of tile wood homes. There are combinations of bicycles and what looks like they should be horse-drawn carriages, but carriages that do not have any animal attached to it, but they are still in fact shaped like carriages that just are riding. There's a driver, and as they move past, some of them very much just slow and stop and stare for a moment. And Callie Zephyrin just wave them forward, and they will nod and continue going. A couple of them still kind of like craning their heads to kind of get a look at you all. You are one of many to have been summoned here over the years. It is clear that you are, like many of them, are not prepped as to the why this happens. So I'll kind of give you the Reader's Digest version. You are familiar with Reader's Digest a thing you have in your world?
Yeah. And this accent has come out of nowhere to all of you. Yeah, we have Reader's Digest. Yeah, my daddy used to get it delivered every week.
Okay, that tells me that you are from one of the worlds known as Earth. Excellent.
Before we keep going, that somehow I can reconcile a little easier, pointing at Lysandra, than that. I'm pointing at Jodie.
We have many questions.
I think I'm a little bit confused of why you can reconcile the fact that I now have antlers. Better than Jodie just sounds different.
We just got transported to a different world, assumingly. So sure, people might look different, correct. But full accent changes. That's a new one.
Well, you're trying to teach kids to survive, and you gotta make sure they understand you, and sometimes when you get excited, an accent can muddle things up. And are Jodie and the leader still holding hands?
Yes.
Like, as Jodie is talking, the hands are just starting to swing.
Oh, you are quite animated. You are lovely.
Well, thank you. You're lovely too.
So this is how you sound normally, and you've just been speaking in a different accent the whole time you're in school?
I'd want to make sure those kids hear every word I have to say, and they can't hear it if my tongue's heavy for them.
Respect.
Okay.
Less confused now, thank you. And Wyatt will give another thumbs up and kind of look back.
I guess I then have a follow-up question about something that you, points at the leader, it says, you said that we're we're from Earth, but the way you phrase that sentence makes it seem like you also get people from other worlds. How many worlds send people here?
Presumably all of them across the whole of the multiverse. And it's not so much that they are sent here, this world takes them. How do I...
Do you guys not make enough?
Well, that is a good question, and she laughs. That is a very fair question. I suppose I should start at the beginning, then. About 6,000 or 7,000 years ago, this world was created by a being called that we call the Guided Dreamer. No one seems to know why. But this dreamer created this world and all of the various levels of it, and began almost immediately taking people from other worlds to help inhabit it. And so, well, from what we know of the legends that happened, that came about of this, these people were given one task and one task alone: to free themselves from the world, because they couldn't leave. No matter how much magical power they seemed to have upon arriving here, they could not bring themselves, they could not unsummon themselves from the world. And unfortunately, it seems that the only way in which to acquire the means to do so is to reach the being known as the Guided Dreamer and kill him. Thusly, in the 6,000 years that this world has been in existence, no one has done so. And so those who haven't died in the attempt, or have simply given up, settled here, and began creating societies and kingdoms and such. Many of the people that you see here are actually descended from heroes. And as you look around, you'll see many types of people. There are your run-of-the-mill humans, but there are also elves. You see dwarves, gnomes. There are beast folk, people with cat faces and features, and there are raccoon folk and mice folk even. There are other Cambrian folk, demonic folk with horns and wings and such. There's even what look to be various species and subspecies of bird folk wandering about, kind of happily tending to their affairs. And Kali Zephron will kind of lean in and say, many of them, many of these, the differing species, were already native to this world. But sometimes, and gestures to Lysandra, some of the summoned get transmogrified. And some of them, in very, very obvious ways, gestures again to Lysandra, and some in ways that are slow and kind of progressive. But again, it doesn't happen always, but it's a thing that happens.
Lysandra just kind of looks at Mistress Kali Zephron and has this like bewildered look of, and then points to the ears, points to the antlers, and then the rest of them And just says, "So you're telling me I'm not the only one who looks like this, then?"
That's correct. Yes, you are not alone.
That is actually very comforting. I did not teach my students to plan for this. So,
No one really is able to plan for it, unfortunately. But while the Lapin folk are very, very populous, Lapin with antlers are exceedingly rare.
oh, I am still a weird part of special even in this world. That is entertaining. And you just kind of see, like, the furrowed ears, like, meh. Because if you've ever seen lop bunnies, because that's the kind of ears that Lysandra now has, whenever they get disgruntled, you can tell by their ears, because their ears twitch and then relax. And that's what Lysandra does in this moment, hearing that they are still weird, even among Lopin folk.
Now, it's very, very possible that should you manage to be the ones to defeat the guided dreamer, that you will return to your natural-born state once you are granted the ability to go back home. And that's kind of the hope for everyone, because, you see, the legend states that should you defeat the guided dreamer, you wouldn't just be freeing yourselves, you'd be freeing all of us.
So, you need us to save you?
If we were able to, we would do it ourselves, but we do not have... And then she will gesture to the hand that she's holding. Right on schedule. And looking at your hand, all of you will notice that there is what looks like tattooed onto your the back of your hand, this glob that seems to move like an ink blot. It has not settled into a shape, and it is just moving.
Oh gosh. Oh no. And Malachi just starts like shaking his hands like, get it off. Get it off.
It's all right. It's okay. It is part of what makes you a hero. Looks at Blaidd. I am sorry. Are you licking the tattoo?
Does it taste?
Our audience at home, our storyteller just flipped a coin with a very pissed look.
I sure did. It does seem to have a very distinct, taste to it. Almost like cold metal.
It's like metal.
I've never seen anyone do that, but I will take your word for it.
Okay, there are options.
Why on earth would your first instinct be to lick it?
What else am I gonna do?
Well,
not
sniff
that?
it first. Did you sniff it first?
I kind of sniffed it during.
Well, next time you gotta sniff it first. That's the first rule of survival.
Well,
give it a little sniff and then you taste.
It's in me either way, so I figured any damage that would be done by licking might already, be a problem.
Or you could rush the problem by injecting it to a different area of your body.
Bet. It just goes in for another lick.
I feel like the
Callie Zephyrin is like watching this, just kind of.
Both of you make very good points.
I feel like
Malachi's trying to like grab their hands, like, no, don't, stop licking it.
Lysandra's just kind of like
Stop licking the
Lysandra
thing.
just pats Jodie on the shoulder and it's just like, you make a very good point, because one thing I had to teach my students in home economics is to sniff the milk jug before they drink from it. Because I have made that mistake many a time.
Exactly. Oh, let's see.
I live off of takeout. It is fine.
It's all right.
You sniff the takeout.
It's just Wait, do they have takeout here? Jodie looks very concerned for Lysandra.
Well, there are a good deal of eateries here, and all over the place that do. I've heard it called takeout. I have also heard it called take away.
That works, as long as I don't have to cook for myself.
All right.
And then realizes that they're slipping into Jodie's accent, and then they test something, and they're just like, someone else start talking, please. One of you two.
Hello?
Continue.
Yeah, I thought you'd do some Shakespeare theater, teacher.
Do you want me to go into a monologue?
And at that, like, Callie Zephyrin raises an eyebrow that like almost touches like where the base of her horn starts. You are all teachers.
Yes.
And
Yes?
Yipperoonie.
That is different.
Okay, so this was an error then.
I don't know that it's necessarily an error. Well, I'll say this. Generally, these things work on a schedule or a cycle. The four of you seem to have arrived earlier than you were supposed to. We weren't expecting you until next summer.
But we were expected.
Huh?
Yes. That there is a cycle. It usually happens every 10 years.
I'm gonna repeat. Huh?
You were telling me I still could have gone to the Burning Patch festival and not been here. That was 2 months away. I could have gone to Burning Patch. But instead I am here with horns and fluffy ears.
So, every 10 years, you get an older set that comes.
Every 10 years, we get students. Generally, high school students, from what we're told. When they come from Earth, at least. Or one of them.
And
But
how
you
early were we?
11 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days.
Oh, we weren't even to the month.
Out of character, we were ready for this. We were ready for it happening today, right? We're like,
Yep.
What the heck is going on? I have so many questions. Sorry. Okay, back in character. Sorry.
But you weren't you weren't expecting us older folk.
No, not at all. Usually, like I said, usually it's younger people that get brought here from across the multiverse.
Where have they gone?
The ones who survived, or the ones who gave up, they are all over the world now, all over Phaedos.
Oh, you're right. You've said that. Does that mean some didn't?
Some didn't survive. Yes, that is unfortunately correct.
So this world has been summoning high school students to go to their deaths.
It is most unfortunate. Yes. We prepare them as best as we can, and...
Do you let them grow up first?
9 times out of 10, yes, that is generally the case. But there are other organizations here in this world that does not take kindly to heroes being summoned. Or want to kill the heroes to take their ability to challenge the guided dreamer for themselves.
Alright, so we're starting with these groups and working our way up, because bastards have to die.
I do have a
I
question.
agree. I'm with you.
I do have a question. Is this not the only place where your heroes are then summoned?
This is usually where they are summoned. They have occasionally been summoned to other floors of the world.
You did mention that.
But when they are summoned on this floor, they are summoned at this temple. And gestures to the temple, which you now see is this large, beautifully golden gilded, white and cream, domed structure, with a large, metallic symbol of what looks like a sun spouting rays down onto, presumably, the earth, but in the center of the sun, etched along the circle, is a dragon. They usually get summoned to this temple, which is the temple that I have stewarded for several generations now.
I am most interested in the fact that you all have dragons. Are they nice?
Oh, yes. Some of them are.
Jodie, I now wish to meet a nice dragon.
This one, the one that we serve, worship, invoke, is one of the kinder ones. The dragon Solim, for whom our kingdom is named.
So you worship a dragon?
Technically, it is only believed that he is a dragon. It is also believed that this dragon is the sun, so take your pick.
I mean, what of both? That is so metal.
When is the last time people have seen this dragon?
In person?
Yes.
The last known sighting of Solim, it's been about 300 years, give or take.
You also said in person as though there's another option.
Well, and gestures to the sky, where you do see the sun.
Gonna stare directly up at the sun since it's being gestured to.
No, don't. Oh gosh. Just shield their eyes.
It is a funny thing that when you do that, there is a message that suddenly appears across your eyes. Not. Oh, I'm blanking on the word now. Unadvisable. Please do not stare into the sun, as it will damage your eyes.
The sun gave me a message. The sun's message was do not look at it.
Ah, right. That is not the sun giving you that message. That is another feature of you being heroes. And she will reach out and will then will turn her palm over, and what looks like a digital screen appears in her above her hand that has various numbers and words and what looks like statistics from a video game. If you do what I have done and focus on, I'd say, what helped me when I first came here is reciting the line, "Know one's self."
You are a summoned as well.
Yes, I am.
Have you been here since you were young?
Yes, I have.
Did you also come from Earth?
And Earth. Yes.
Lysandra, once again looking at the forming tattoo thing that they've been just kind of tracing their fingers on, seeing if they can manipulate it to make something cool, instead turns over that same hand and does what Mistress Califran has said of know oneself.
And just as what happened with her, a screen appears, all digital. And you can see Lysandra Agni, they, she, hit points, mind points, dex, might, insight, willpower, weaknesses, strengths, and various delineations of like numbered statistics for each one of those things. Spells, unknown. Weapons, none. Armor, none. Class, none. Or no, class, unknown.
Can you all see this? And Lysandra is going to turn their hand to show the others.
I was just about to ask if we could.
Do we?
Everyone else can see what's on Lysandra's screen, but you can't read it. It looks like gibberish.
I see a bunch of squiggles.
There sure is something.
So...
Still kind of cool, though.
Only we can read our screens, then.
That tends to be, or has tended to be, the general case in this situation. Yes.
They are going to close the palm of their hand. Does it take the screen away?
Screen winks out.
Oh, that is very interesting. One of you try it next.
All right. And Jodie looks at her hand.
You get the same thing, but for yourself. Jodie Bank. She, her. HP. MP. Classes. None. Dex, might, inspiration, willpower. Items. None. Or rather, classes, unknown. I also forgot to mention, you all have a level counter next to your name. And currently it says level 0.
Oh. All right. Were you level 0 too, Lysandra?
It told me I was either level 0 or everything else is unknown.
All right. I see we're on the same level, which is 0.
Yes.
And you just did. Choo, and she shuts it too.
And Callie Zephyrin nods. Yes, when I was summoned, I was also at level 0. Yeah. It is an interesting scenario to be placed in. And I apologize for the abruptness of it, for all of us. And again, I must apologize. I have apparently been rude, and I have told you who I am, and I have not asked of your names.
Well, seeing as we're so close together now, and she's still holding the hand.
Yes.
I'm Jodie Bank.
Greetings and welcome, Jodie.
Oh, great. Greetings and welcomed. I consider myself welcomed right now.
And you see that, like, when you say your name, the guard captain straightens a bit and head goes to one side.
Can I help you?
The guard captain looks at Mistress Callie Zephyrin and Callie. Yes, of course. And Jodie, not Jodie, the guard captain relaxes and takes off their helmet. And you see cream-colored skin that resolves into kind of piercing blue eyes, very kind of A-lined, angular face, shock of blonde hair that is shaved at the sides and kind of spiky into kind of a pixie cut at the top. Very beautiful woman, very severe looking woman. Yes, my name is also Jodie. But my surname is Hoth. Captain Jodie Hoth, at your service. And she bows. Hi there. I'm Sphinx Akashaa, your champion of Bards. And you're listening to the Everbright Archive, a TTRPG actual play podcast anthology series. I really hope you're enjoying the show. Why don't we get back to it?
Well, and Jodie bows a little back. Why is it so surprising to meet somebody else named Jodie? We kind of common name.
Well, it isn't quite that common here. You'd be surprised at the variety of names that we have here on Phaedos.
Oh, well, guess we'll be close too. We got Hand and fellow Jodie. We'll make a club. Club Jodie.
And Captain Hearth kind of is a blank expression for a moment, and then side of the mouth quirks into a bit of a smirk. Yes, I think I would like that.
All right. We're going to have ourselves a party once I stop freaking out so much.
Callie Zephyrin gives you a bit of a gentle squeeze of the hand. Well, that is natural, yes. And then turns to the rest of you. And who might you all be?
Blaidd is gonna kind of nudge the theater teacher next to them. And I don't know. Who are you?
Well, you know who I am. I don't know why you're... Malachi Davis, at your service.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Malachi Davis.
The pleasure is all mine.
Ah, a teacher and a gentleman. How lovely.
As I've been called.
And then looks to Blaidd. And how about yourself, young man? That was me.
I think Blaidd's gonna hold out a hand and go, Blaidd Leary. It's.
And Callie Zephyrin, for a brief moment, releases Jodie's hand, puts the staff in that hand, and then reaches out their other hand, and pleasure to meet you.
Instead of making them go through that effort, because they see that it's going to involve, like, releasing Jodie's hand, they go, and, Blaidd reaches forward and shakes the hand that is holding Jodie's hand instead.
Oh, that is highly unusual. That is a new one for me. Pleasant, but new.
And then there's that one. My personal favorite arsonist.
I am not an arsonist.
Arsonist?
How many arsonists do you know?
Several.
Also a good question.
I am not an arsonist. I promise.
Not intentionally, anyway.
I am just accident prone. That is what it is. But no. And Lysandra makes a big show about it, of giving this very deep and kind of elegant bow. Because the height difference is something to get used to. And bowing down to be eye level with Mistress Callie Zephyrin, and says, "Pleasure to meet you. I am Lysandra Agni."
Lysandra Agni. And Callie bows. A pleasure to meet you as well. I know that this is all a sizable adjustment for the four of you. But I do hope you're able to make the best of your time here on Phaedos. And I do hope that you are, in fact, even if selfishly, I hope that you are, in fact, the ones who will free us.
Oh, I think we will be, because we ain't sending no more children here to die. It's gonna end.
I rather like the way you think. Well, and she turns to Jodie. Jodie Hearth, Captain Jodie. And Commander Hearth, quest for you. You are to go back to the temple, and you are to contact Mistress Varro. Let her know that the heroes have come, and that it would be most beneficial to send emissaries. Duke and Miss Arnak would be especially handy here, as soon as is possible. And Jodie straightens. I will contact the circle at once then. And Jodie, like, fist to chest in salute, a quick bow to all of you, and will heel turn and walk into the temple.
Bye. See you in our first club meeting.
And she will stop, will turn slightly, and will just very, like, slowly and awkwardly wave. Yes. See you later. And then we'll turn back and, like, walk a little bit faster inside.
Oh, what a filly.
Just Captain
Never underestimate your
Hearth
ability
is-
to discombobulate someone.
What?
I'll never underestimate your ability to discombobulate someone.
I'm discombobulated. If I'm discombobulated, everybody out here is going to be discombobulated. No, I'm calm. I'm feeling myself calming. And she's still swinging her and Kelly's hands together.
Well, this is, yes, you are. You seem very calm. Much calmer than some of the others summoned. as one group of individuals noticeably stated, you are not quite losing your shit.
Well, we're not children.
Well, there's also that. Now, speaking of which, I should get you lodging, and are you hungry at all?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I suppose I could be a tad peckish, yes.
Very well, then. Follow me. And still holding Jodie's hand, she will lead the four of you to a inn that is not quite attached to the Temple of Solim, but is like just situated behind it. And as you kind of move around that corner, you get a very distinct whiff of something animal. And if you look in that direction, you'll see that there is a stable next door. And that they look like giant birds, but you notice that these birds have 4 legs and 4 feet, clawed feet, and look, they're fluffy and are varied in color. There are like 7 of them in this stable, all pecking away at what looks like a combination of like seed and vegetables and chunks of meat.
Your birds here are so much cooler than the ones we have back home.
Oh, you do not have these?
No.
Yes, Zephyr birds are what we have used for many years for transportation. Grant you, the technology has been increasing and progressing so that they are not needed nearly as much. But we like to keep them on hand. The heroes that get summoned here tend to like them. One group said that it distinctly reminded them of, and I might say this word wrong, a chocobo?
A chocobo.
Oh, a chocobo.
Yes. Do you have chocobos?
They're not real. They're a story in a video game.
Yes.
Video game. I have heard of these video games. They seem to be very entertaining, if not violent.
Some of them are.
Which, well, violence is not a new thing here, but simulated violence actually is also not a new thing here. She leads you into this tavern. And inside, it seems to be a lot quieter than what you would expect for a tavern. Very rustic, wood, dark woods, nice little fireplace, and a very large, very well built orc man. Big gray beard, big tusks, kind of turns around. Gally Zephyrin, welcome back. Is it lunchtime already?
And Callie looks. No, Algrim. It is. We have guests, and gestures to all of you. We have heroes. And Algrim looks at you all, kind of, holy shit. Heroes. Truly. Then looks at what looks like a calendar on the wall. Kind of rustles with the page. They're Callie. Yes, I know they are very early, but they're here now, and well, we're getting them settled in while we wait for help from the circle. Well, come in. Welcome. Come sit. My name is Ogrim. Many folks call me Ogrim the Mighty, Ogrim the Brave. This one just calls me Ogrim the Kind, because, well, it's not an inaccurate statement. But you are hungry, so welcome. Welcome to Uncle Og's.
There's a look on Blaidd's face, like it's fighting to not say something it knows it shouldn't say. And all three of you are very familiar with that look, as it's just, I could say it. I won't. I could say it. But it does manage to keep itself quiet for the most part, though it starts snickering to itself.
We thank you for your hospitality.
You're most welcome.
What does it smell like in here?
Ooh, it smells like... fresh, warm bread at the moment. And an open fire at the fireplace, like a well-used hearth.
As these smells are coming in, and it's good. It's suddenly reminding Jodie that she's hungry. It almost looks like her hair moves slightly. Just like something shifts in the strands. And then slowly you see two antennae kind of lifting as though to get a better smell of the air. Very greatly resembling a moth's antennae. They almost looked like they were highlighting the gray of her hair. But as they rise, they look blonde-ish. These fluffy moth antennae, just at full attention as she smells this bread and fire and just all the warmth in here.
Oh, now that's something that you don't see every day.
I mean, I know I'm still young, but some people gray early.
Jodie, go like this. He's like rubbing on his top of his head.
She slowly rubs the top of her head, but it goes between her antennae.
Go a bit to the left or the right, either way.
Yeah, like side to side.
All right.
There you go.
Well, it feels nice. Oh! Why do I feel so... She runs, well, not runs, but just kind of shifts over to a window. She touches the antenna, kind of shivers a little bit.
Now I'm gonna guess that you didn't have those before you got here.
No, I did not. Very good guess.
And Callie looks at Ogrim's. They're from one of the Earths. Ah, that explains it. And then looks over at Lysandra. Right. That means that those aren't normal for you either.
No, not at all. I am not usually this tall either, but I am slowly getting used to it.
You're shorter than this.
Yes.
Well, that's something.
I wonder if I'm going to hit my antlers on many a door frame.
That's usually the way it works, yeah. It's good. It'll be quite funny for a while, and then it'll just get annoying until you get used to them.
Maybe I will be Lysandra the Clumsy instead of Lysandra the Arsonist, looking directly at Blaidd.
I can smell my hands through my hair.
I cannot do that.
That's a neat party trick.
I don't...
Well,
What is
something to look forward to if you're becoming what I think you might be becoming. You might sprout a set of wings next.
What am I becoming?
Right, you're not from here, so you wouldn't know the terms. The larvum. They're the moth and butterfly folk.
I'm gonna be a moth. I'm gonna be a butterfly. Am I gonna lose my legs?
No, of course not. They have legs. Of course they have legs. They're still, I believe the word is humanoid.
How many legs will I have?
2.
How many legs does a moth have? Ow.
Well, a standard moth has many legs, but the larvae have 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be a larvum. I won't have many legs, and I'm going to be a larvum. I'm going to be a moth or a butterfly. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be.
And Ogrim's just shaking his head, nodding his head along with you. Yes. Yeah. And Callie Zephyrin is just kind of like
6 legs.
It's like how about we get them all some soup and maybe some tea or some wine or something. Og, is that doable? Ogrim's like, right. Do you like bread with your soup?
I like my soup in bread.
Soup in bread. I got something for you. Awesome. Soup for everybody. Any dietary restrictions? Do we have any vegetarians in the house?
I really like spicy food.
Extra spicy
I
for you.
very much
Gotcha.
appreciate spicy food.
Might explain the arson.
I am not an arsonist.
I told you.
I'm not an arsonist.
Blaidd is gonna laugh. Is gonna jab Malachi kind of once again and smile this shit-eating grin while looking up at him and is gonna go, so what are you gonna start changing? What are you gonna turn into? Oh, I can't wait.
Well, hopefully I won't be changing at all.
Uh-huh.
What about you? What are you gonna change into?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would. I wouldn't have asked if I didn't.
And Callie sits next to you all, or Callie rather gestures you all to a table where she sits with you all. It's like, well, once again, it's not always that everyone changes. Some do, and sometimes no one changes. We did get a group about 10 years ago, the last group that came here, that remained human. There were 5 of them that time. They were an interesting bunch. They had a talking cat with them. Very odd.
What, like Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
I do not know that reference. But the cat did speak. It had a British accent, I believe. At least that's what they call the accent. British. I don't know what British is, or where it is on your world, if you have a British.
I'm more concerned about the talking cat coming with people.
It is a first for us, too. Well, at least a first for me. But, again, not everyone changes. Well, not physically. Being here can change a person in ways they don't expect, personality-wise. But I think, overall, as long as you all stay true to who you are, I don't think you will have that problem.
Well, I don't think it could be a problem. We're all meant to change and grow, after all.
And that is a wonderful way to look at it, Jodie. To blossom and spread one's wings, very much like a butterfly. Or a moth.
A bat.
Yeah.
We do have those here, bat folk. Yes. Sometimes they're vampires. Most of the time they're not.
I'm sorry, there are vampires here.
Oh, there are all kinds here, yes.
Huh.
There's a man that will be coming through the circle. His name is Duke. He's a werewolf.
Is he single?
You know, I don't
what I'm
know.
thinking.
I don't know.
my
I'll have to,
God,
I can inquire for you if you're interested in that sort of thing. This was not where I thought the conversation was going.
It is not my type, but it might be somebody else's, and it's like elbowing Blaidd.
Oh.
Blaidd, as it has been doing for most of the conversation, vastly avoiding looking at you, but massive smile across its face and kind of jabbing back.
Well, and Algrim comes back and has 4 bowls made out of bread, out of like delicious looking bread, filled with soup, and the soup is very like rich and creamy, and Lysandra, yours, you can smell the spice and the chili wafting from your bread bowl.
Lysandra just has this excited look upon their face, and then they realize there's something thumping behind them while they're sitting. And they ignore it. And it's the realization they have a tail.
And Algrim absolutely notices, and you'll get used to that.
I do not think I will, but this looks amazing. I used to be a fire eater, actually.
Doesn't it, though? Ah, that explains it. The spice.
Yeah.
Yes. We get fire eaters that come through here every so often, usually from Anthem. But yeah. Good times.
Yes, I used to be a fire eater. I can also blow fire with certain accessories. I was a fire dancer as well. And I used to wear a mask that looks a lot like I do now. So I'm wondering if there might be a tie-in.
And as you say that, there is a tingling sensation on your hand where that blotchy mark was. And you see that mark begin to shape itself into what looks like the stencil of a flame.
I sniff it.
Smells warm.
I lick it.
Well done. Oh. Thank you for sniffing first.
It tastes like warm wood.
It does not taste like metal, it tastes like warm wood. And it smells warm. And spicy.
Why do we keep licking things?
Well, wait a minute. May I? And Jodie licks Lysandra's hand. All right. And may I ask for Blaidd's hand?
Blaidd just absolutely sticks her right out.
And Jodie licks it as well. Can Jodie taste what they're tasting?
Yeah, absolutely she can. There's the taste of warm wood from Lysandra, and there is the taste of cold metal from Blaidd.
Malachi just throws his hand in the air. Like, I guess we're just licking everything now.
Blaidd is looking over towards Malachi and that smile.
Malachi's like, no.
Now you don't understand, Malachi. Sometimes, and she takes a step forward, we need to do things in order to understand them, to make sure that we understand what's going on. Because, if one tastes like fire, one tastes like metal, our little fire starter, and our resident engineer of basically everything. I wonder, just my... And she leaps and, tries to get it
Cheering.
It's just straight glomp. And Malachi's like, oh god!
Just like, get him, Blaidd! Get him!
There's this sudden stop of cheering, like, oh, we're tapping, oh god, and then Blaidd, leaps in.
This is highly unorthodox!
Is any of this ever orthodox? Just trying to, is this ever orthodox?
Are you licking Malachi's hand as you're saying that? Awesome. So you get two things. You get smell, you get scent, and you get taste out of this. The scent is of mint. Like spearmint. The taste is of spearmint and also lavender.
Blaidd comes back up, gas for a second, goes, it tastes dainty.
Dainty? How dare.
You smell and taste of mint and you taste of lavender. You are dainty, good sir, and steps back.
Fits very well for you.
And he looks at his hand, really? Mint and lavender?
Taste it.
Taste
Why don't
yourself.
you take a little?
And you
Gives a little
smell
like,
and taste exactly the same thing.
See, you're just as weird as we are.
And as you do that,
how
as
dare.
you do that, you notice that your splotch is also changing. And it's shaping into what looks like a microphone with wings.
Interesting.
And Kali looks over. Well, I've never seen that before.
Like this happen or this specific symbol?
That specific symbol.
Does that imply that you've seen their symbols before?
Well, I've seen the fire symbol before. It tends to intonate that the wielder has some proficiency with fire or fire magic of some kind.
Arsonist.
I am not an
Arsonist.
arsonist.
Your tattoo
I
says
am not an
otherwise.
arsonist. I am
No.
adept
But
with fire.
again, we know it's not intentional.
They're a fire breather. That was Bryn forgetting
the
the name
correct
for what
terminology
they said
would be
earlier.
fire dancer or a fire artist is another way you could put it. But I'm a fire eater, breather, dancer, aficionado. But I'm not an arsonist.
You forgot fire setter.
I am not a fire setter. I'm just accident prone.
I don't believe the two are mutually exclusive.
Blaidd is going to attempt to give Lysandra some mercy on this, and is going to look over to Jodie and kind of gesture towards Jodie's hand and go, does yours smell or taste? Is yours looking like anything?
Jodie lifts her hand and kind of startles just a little bit as it seems instinctually these antennae come down and sniff for her.
Ooh, I
Does
like
it
that.
smell like it? Ooh.
I like that.
Does it?
You specifically get the scent of old paper, like old books, that like musty old library smell. And as you look at it, your blotch of ink forms the shape of a shield, but on the inside of the shield is the shape of a book.
And her form seems to calm, as though the smell of paper is something familiar to her that she can grasp, shoulders unslumping. A deep breath, and then she licks the book shield.
You get the taste of leather binding mixed with cold steel.
Well, it smells a bit like home. I got a lot of books in my den, you see, and the paper has the scent, especially when the sun comes in through the windows. That's what it kind of smells like right now. And hey, I guess we could form a club too, because I taste a little bit of steel there, but sprinkled with some leather to it.
Kinky.
And Callie Zephyrin,
Wow.
like, not... I understood that word.
Kelly.
What? Everyone has to get down sometime. Just because I'm a priestess doesn't mean that I'm not worldly.
I'm liking this place better and better.
Jodie picks up her bread bowl. Just the bread bowl is suddenly so interesting. It's just wow. This is gourmet right here. This is gourmet. So delicious, and she drinks the soup before she can say anything else.
And for Blaidd, I'm going to spend an Ultima point right now. And I am going to invoke that this entire time you haven't noticed it until just now. But you've been carrying your skateboard with you. Your skateboard came with you. And as you make that realization, there's a tingle on your hand. And there is the skateboard that forms on your hand. And what looks like the outline of a set of goggles.
Blaidd is gonna kind of readjust the skateboard in the other arm, like now realizing that it's there and being like, oh shit, that's my prized possession, okay. And like, making sure to carry it properly, and then looking back and like, huh. I was actually gonna sniff it this time, since, I already knows what it tastes like.
I was hoping you were going to do that.
Oh god.
You smell cold steel and the wind.
The wind is in my hand. What does this one mean? And it's gonna like hold it out.
Callie kind of takes a look. Well, if I had to make an educated guess, the last time I saw someone with goggles like that, they went the way of the tinkerer. And your friends here did say that you have a knack for building things. So that would make sense. And then she smells your hand.
I love that that's a perfectly normal sentence.
I only know of one other person who smelled of the wind. They were able to create and ride machines of very unique quality.
Unique how?
Well, I believe they called it a mecha.
That's an option here.
Oh, yes. There's varying forms of technology all over Phaedos. There is an entire floor that is dedicated to what we call magitech.
Oh.
The combination of magic and technology into wondrous and sometimes terrifying machines.
So, vehicles. One thing. Oh, like Blaidd is looking down at its skateboard, and then looks back up, and then this like light just lights up in its eyes, and very rudely, it props one of its legs up kind of onto the table and pulls that pant leg up to reveal like the fake leg. And it's like, can this be more than this?
Define more.
Well, this currently doesn't do very much. It's sort of just, and kind of knocks it on the table. It's kind of just very hard plastic that just sits there. But it's...
So you want it to be functional?
Yes.
Yes, there are multiple people that I could point you in the direction of. That actually, and her eyes kind of go wide as she's remembering something. I know of a very talented maker who specializes in magitech items, and I believe I've heard it called robotics or cybernetics.
Blaidd puts one hand on each of the people who are closest to it and just starts shaking them.
I could have them sent for as well. They also work for the Circle.
Yes. 100 times yes. Yes.
I think you have said the magic words.
Well, I think I might have. Give me just a moment. I'm pretty sure that Curator would be most excited to meet you as well. And she gets up and looks over at Ogrim. Take care of our friends, love. Make sure you get them rooms. And kind of gives two big meaty thumbs up. You got it, boss. And can I get you guys drinks? Do you drink? You guys, you drink, right? I mean, water, mead, wine, ale, tea.
Can I just have whatever your
We got this new thing called soda.
Just give me whatever your favorite is.
All right.
Surprise me.
And he brings to you, he pours like beautifully like gold colored liquid into a large stein, brings it over to you and places it. This here is well, it's you like things spicy. It's a ghost pepper honey wine.
I am so excited and unafraid. And Lysandra goes deep into it. Just starts.
And what about for the rest of you? I'm going to get some folk to get your rooms together, but what else would you like to drink?
Water would do me just fine, please.
Water for you.
You said you had soda.
Yeah, it's something new that just came down from the capital city. We're trying it out.
What flavors do you have?
Let's see. There's this stuff called... Hang on, I don't have this memorized yet. He goes back behind the counter, pulls up what looks like a menu. Right. Something called Mountain Dew, root beer. Well, how you make beer from roots. Well, I guess it is possible to make beer from roots. It's not the most unheard of thing, but it's not actually beer. Well, there's an alcoholic version that is actual ale, but this is not that. This is the non-alcoholic version. In any case, root beer. There is something called cola, and Sprite. Not the fairies, just Sprite.
All right. And do you have ice cream?
Oh, yeah, of course we do.
I would like a root beer float. So you take that root beer.
And he definitely looks at you like
and
confused.
Okay. You take that root beer, right? You put it in a nice kind of tall glass. And then you put some scoops of that ice cream. Actually, no, I told you the reverse. You put some scoops of ice cream in the tall glass. And then you pour the root beer on top of this ice cream till it fills up. And it makes this nice little, like, creamy texture. And naturally chills the root beer in addition to this. It's very delicious. And I would like that.
That sounds both bizarre and the most delicious thing I didn't think of. Let's try that. And so he literally runs behind the bar, grabs like a pint glass, runs into the kitchen, comes back with like a tub, like a big old like tub of ice cream. Right, okay. Takes a spoon, like shoves like a big ass spoonful into the pint glass. Takes another probably not that much. Half that. And then pours like looks like he reaches down like beneath the bar for something. You hear a door open and then close, and he's got a pitcher. He pours into the pint glass, and then like he watches, like he's oh no, too much froth, and he stops and he waits for the froth to go down a bit. Right, okay, all right, and then he does a slow pour over the ice cream, and then how do you eat the of course you need a spoon, silly, and then puts like a smaller spoon on the inside. A straw would probably work with this too. Reaches back behind the bar, shoves like a metal straw in there as well, and then comes back like holding this like big ass pint glass of root beer float. There you go. I hope it's good.
Oh, do you want to try some with me?
Oh, hang on. He runs back behind the bar, grabs a spoon, runs back. Okay, right. It's gonna be fine. I like root beer. I like ice cream. The two of them together. Why didn't I think of that? That's brilliant.
All right.
He takes a scoop, making sure to get some of the root beer and the ice cream. And he very, very tentatively takes a bite. You see him make a bit of a face as he kind of swishes it around in his mouth and he swallows. And you just see his eyes get wide. This is the best thing I've ever done.
Well, I'm glad you like it. It's my favorite.
I'm going to have to be very careful about this because I will eat way too much of this, but this is gonna sell. You don't know what you've done, kid. He walks back and starts like it looks like he's got a notepad and he's like taking notes and things like, I gotta add that to the menu. Oh my gosh. And then he looks back up at Blaidd. Oh, wait, right. You, Blaidd, right? Yes. Something to drink.
But Blaidd was so ingrained in its soup that just soup in the mouth and looks up, finishes the bite, and then goes, oh, what I want is very, very similar to that. That is very much so the right track. Just like in awe of Jodie for a moment. And then goes, the only thing that's different, cream soda instead of the root beer, and then a little bit of vanilla liqueur, and then whipped cream on top with maybe a gummy bear or two, just for flavor.
Cream soda, liquor, gummy bears,
and ice cream.
You're gonna make me a mint. You four are. I don't know what to do with myself. And he goes back and like he makes the concoction, like puts the whipped cream and everything. And it's like, this looks amazing. I'm gonna make one for myself in just a moment. He puts it down in front of you. It's like, yes.
Blaidd looks over at Jodie, and goes, This is all thanks to you. And, like, lifts it up to, like, cheers to Jodie.
Jodie lifts hers up and happily taps their glasses together with a merry ting.
And Ogrim comes back a little bit later with Malachi's glass of water. Are you sure this is all you want, fella? I mean, they've got some pretty water. Just water for you? You sure?
Perhaps you're right.
I can get you something else.
Plain compared to the rest of them.
You seem like a wine gentleman. You seem like a gentleman.
Why don't we zhuzh things up a little bit? I would like a lemon slice with my water. I'm living on the edge today.
A lemon slice. With your water.
I know it's a bit much, but, we're all getting fancy drinks today.
A bit you know what? You got it. Reaches back under the bar and grabs. It is the shape of a lemon. It is the color of a lemon. But it is the size of a cantaloupe. Right. And then he reaches underneath the bar, pulls out a cleaver. Slices that in half, slices it into quarters, and then just becomes gingerly cutting them into like stripped slices. So that looks like it's cut the way oranges would peel apart. And then he takes one of these now long slices of lemon and he brings it over and very gently sits it in your water glass so that it is the length, full on the length of your water glass. And it's just, there we go. All right.
Not what I was expecting, but you know what? Let's go with it.
What? The lemons? Do you not have lemons? You said lemons, so you must have lemons.
We do have lemons. They're just not this large. Where we come from.
You get tiny lemons?
Yeah,
that's a thing?
Like this size. I mean, it sounds like a small tennis ball, maybe.
How do you eat it?
Well, I mean, depending on the recipe, but typically we, use it for more of a garnish than anything. I mean, I guess there's some people that just straight up eat lemons, but that's...
Yeah, and he just takes the lemon, rind and, a piece of the lemon rind and all, and yeah.
Yep, just like that.
You can also candy that if you boil it with sugar.
This is also true.
Pulls the notepad from his back pocket and is like, boil with sugar, candied lemon.
You can candy.
That sounds amazing.
Most edible fruit rinds, especially ones that are citric. Do you know what ceviche is?
I have not heard of this.
Do you have seafood?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's...
fish, crab, shrimp, oysters.
So if you...
Dolphins.
Shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
So you take shrimp, you clean them, as per usual. You cut them up. You put them in lemon juice. The citric acid will cook them. You do not have to use heat on them.
Just so you...
And you can put them in tacos.
Huh. Tacos. I've heard of tacos. Yes. That sounds delicious.
Yes, you can put them in tacos. I highly recommend it. Especially if you want to put a little bit of spice in them. Then you can put peppers in your ceviche. And then everything is spicy. Some people like cilantro.
I like it.
Other people think cilantro tastes like soap. So...
Cilantro.
You could also
I did not know this cilantro business, but I will look it up.
You could also try zesting lemons. Have you done that?
That's where you just like shave bits of lemon off into a thing.
Yes.
Yes, basically, and it's good with like most vegetables or maybe some certain rices.
I see. Not many folk ask for that kind of thing here, but mostly town full of simple folk. But I will have to try that. Just starts writing things down, like eyes wide. God, you kids are gonna make me a mint, I swear. Goes back behind the bar. So you've not been around the town very much. When did you lot arrive?
We just got here.
Like
Oh,
less than an hour or so ago.
You guys are the weird flash of light that happened then.
Yes. Nothing caught on
Gotcha,
fire, right?
gotcha. Right. Not that I'm aware.
All right. See? Not the arsonist.
I didn't hear any yelling or screaming or any sirens or anything, so I think you're good. You're muted.
Jodie reaches over and knocks on the wood very quietly.
I have heard that expression. Knocking on wood for luck. I wouldn't worry
and
so much.
chasing away the bad ones.
I wouldn't worry about the luck thing or the fires so much here. We've got a pretty decent fire department system here that's run by a group of spiritists that can conjure water elementals.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, did they not tell you that magic's a thing here?
Hearing about it is kind of one thing, and then hearing the extent of it is kind of cool.
Oh, right. Yeah, a lot of the new Earth types, from what I understand, don't really do magic. A lot of our goods and services kind of depend on it. We have an entire We have an entire mail system, postal system that relies on it. Like I said, our fire department is comprised mostly of folk that can summon water elementals in Arcanum. Don't summon any of the major Arcanum, though that can get messy.
Messy how?
I was not alive for this, but apparently there was a time where one of the member of the fire brigade accidentally summoned one of the water titans and flooded the town.
I guess the fire was put out.
The fire was definitely put out, but everyone, including the water titan, was highly annoyed, from what I understand of it. Again, before I was born. Ooh, if you get up to the 7th floor, you might get a chance to see the Earth Titan too. Well, there's no missing the Earth Titan, actually.
That actually brings up a good question. What floor are we on?
Oh, this is Anwanyu is the 4th floor of Phaedos. So there are 12 floors total of the world. There's only that we know of 1, 2, 3 floors that are, inhabitable. There's this floor, the 7th floor, and the 10th floor. The guided dreamer lives on the 12th floor, according to legend. So I guess the 12th floor is also inhabitable, I suppose. But yeah, the 10th floor is called the Corona. Not the 10th floor. The 7th floor is called the Corona. The 10th floor is called the Obsidian. The 10th floor is the floor that Callie Zephyrin was talking about, with all that cool, like, magical tech stuff.
Right. How do you travel between floors?
There are gateways, stairs, depending on where you are. Portal. Well, they're called portcullises, but they're actually just portals. And they move, so it's a bit hard to gauge where they're going to be from one moment to the next. If you've got yourself an airship or something, there are doors within the ceiling of the sky.
I'm sorry, how?
Because the sky has a ceiling. And there are doors in the ceiling.
So we're in like a dome kind of thing.
The way I've heard it, like an egg that is shelled like a capsule.
Malachi just looks up like, but we can see the sun.
Yes, but if you look past the sun, there is a ceiling. Every floor that is inhabitable has a sun and a moon. Well, the Corona has sort of a moon. It broke about 1.5 years ago. And some of it fell into the ocean.
They broke the moon?
The moon broke?
Yeah. It was a whole thing.
Who broke the moon?
Do you know why it broke?
I know someone sent a crew of investigators out to figure that shit out, but no one's told us anything, or at least I don't know anything about what they found out. But yeah, about 1.5 years ago, big loud cracking sound during the full moon. From what I understand, like the northeastern hemisphere of the moon basically shattered and fell into the sea. Caused a lot of weird shit to happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like one of the islands started to sink, another of the islands nearby started to rise up out of the sea. It's a whole thing.
Oh.
They thought that the Earth Titan did it, but the Earth Titan was on the other side of the Corona when it happened, so plausible deniability, I guess.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is this moon gonna break?
I certainly hope not. There's a dragon in there. If anyone breaks the moon...
I'm sorry,
Right.
so both the moon and the sun are dragons.
According to legend, yeah.
Well, do you want to know a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
Well, on Earth, and there's a bit of playfulness, again, that y'all, very much at school, there is a serious aura to her. She is there to teach her children. So you're getting a glimpse of just a little bit of playfulness. On Earth, we got something in our moon, too.
Is this that... I think I might have heard about this. Is there, like, cheese? I heard somewhere that, like, one of the Earths has a moon that's made of cheese.
Oh, no, not in fact. This Earth has a rabbit in our moon.
Really? Is it just like a rabbit rabbit, or a rabbit, like one of the Loppin, like a rabbit person?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because the rabbit was a person. However, okay, so you know how you have a sun and moon here?
Yeah.
Except the one that just got destroyed, okay.
Sure, yeah.
So there were 2 warriors that had to prove their bravery. And to prove it, they had to go into fire.
Oh.
The first warrior couldn't do it. Ran away. The second warrior went in, no hesitation, and they were rewarded by becoming the sun.
Huh.
The second warrior, however, went into the fire because they weren't about to be outdone. But instead of becoming the sun, they became a moon. And in that moon, you see a rabbit running away. So that everybody remembers how they ran.
Huh. Interesting. As far as I know, we don't have any rabbit folk in our sun or moon. They're just, dragons. But that's really cool.
Yeah, I was trying to play a trick on you, and then I actually taught you a real story there.
Oh.
Because you already knew the cheese thing.
Well, there's the cheese thing, yeah. But one of the other folks from the last group that came here talked about the moon being made of cheese.
Well, now you know they were just playing with you. I told you the real story.
Huh.
It's really legend there. It's a real legend. I'm serious.
Huh.
And this is Bryn being serious.
I love it. Well, the next time I see that crew, who was it? What's that guy's name? Aaron Strum. Weirdo. Next time I see him, I'm gonna give him a talking to.
Because you can't just go around saying that there's cheese in the moon.
Well, then there's that other... there's a woman with them. Trying to remember her name. Avalee, I think? That also said that the moon might be made of an oatmeal raisin cookie?
Oh. Well, no, and I feel like I should tell you something else as well. That is only one story of the rabbit in the moon. There's many stories.
There's more stories about the rabbit?
Because for every group, this rabbit did something different.
Oh.
There's some that say that the rabbit's in the moon as a reward for their selflessness. There's some that say that it was in there because of sacrifice. There's some that say that it is the champion of the moon.
Huh.
So, started out trying to trick you with the cheese thing, and here I am teaching you all about all the rabbits that are in that moon.
Well, you learn something new every day. I like learning stuff. And it's around that time that Kali Zephyrin comes back into the inn. Right. Well, got it on good authority that the folks are coming down from Dawnseed, which is on the other end of the kingdom, but they should be here in a day or two. To meet you all. 2, to kind of give you a bit of an assessment of your skill, and what your affinities might be. And 3, they're escorting my friend Curator, who I mentioned, the very gifted, talented maker and tinkerer. It doesn't quite hold a candle to her younger brother, but her younger brother's been missing for a little while, and so that's unfortunate. They're a close-knit pair. In any case, they should be here within the next day or so. So, I would invite you to get comfy, get cozy, and we're going to have more visitors who are not, in fact, you. One of them will assess your combat abilities, which should be interesting. And they're going to be here for a while, because it's going to take some time to get you all kind of prepared. Neither of you look like you are... And please don't take any offense by this. This is simply an observation. Have ever been in a fight? Well, and looks at Blaidd. Maybe you. But
excuse you, but I have years of stage fighting experience.
Oh.
And Callie Zephyrin gives you a bit of a smirk and kind of like leans in. Young man, we do have the theater here.
Damn it.
In fact, one of the Earthers, I suppose that's a better name for them for now, actually brought quite a bit of knowledge of a man called Shakespeare, and another by the name of, a pair by the name of Gilbert and Sullivan. So we are familiar with your theater.
Well, that's fantastic for you all, then.
There's an entire nation on the 7th floor that's dedicated to the arts. So it's... If that is something that you are interested in, that might be worth visiting on your journeys.
I suppose I'll have to make a stop up there.
Yes, they just recently had a within the last 5 or 6 years, a changeover in leadership. The king, King Bootsy, I guess, recently relocated his granddaughter, and his granddaughter basically saved their kingdom, and he abdicated, and she took the throne and is now the new king of Anthem.
Sorry, I'm just, for my notes, did you say Bootsy or Boopsy?
Bootsy. As in Bootsy Collins.
Thank you.
It's Bootsy, baby. But yes, Bootsy still lives there, and apparently is quite fond of creating it's called the program that he blares out over the speakers at Anthem called Radio Free Bootsy.
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
Yes, it's apparently quite entertaining. But yes, I highly recommend that you visit Anthem. It is and looks at Lysandra. For you as well, you being a dancer and all.
I mean, I'm not the classically trained dancer, just like the tango or anything. I usually just dance with, like, fire or, like, a staff on fire.
They have that there, too.
Oh, okay. As long as no one's trying to make me do a waltz.
No. I mean, yes, that exists there as well, but no one will make you do any of that.
That is nice.
I'm sure you could learn how to waltz.
Are you going to learn to be weird? Difficult. If you learn to be weird, I will learn to waltz.
Aren't we all in our own ways a little weird?
I have horns. Jodie has antenna.
Fair. I can't.
Blaidd is Blaidd.
Jodie is stroking her antenna.
Blaidd is Blaidd, yes. Fair enough. I will find a way to match your weirds. I don't know how yet, but I'll think of something.
You have a quest.
You are really doing the team's work.
Algrim kind of is nursing their own bowl of liqueured cream soda float.
Listen, healthy is the group who learns to match each other's freak.
And with that, we zoom out and away from this tavern. And as we zoom out, we see the city of Dawngate, or rather the town of Dawngate, at the very southern tip of the nation of Solem. It is a beautiful temple town surrounded by homes and small farms. Many of them normal food farms, but a good deal of them are wind farms and solar farms. Homes that are covered in various plants and vines that bear fruit. Not several stories high, like usually no bigger than about 3 stories high. The Temple of Solem is in fact the tallest building in this town. But we zoom out and away from there, and we zoom up a river, the river that is that the city is connected to, up north through the Luminarium River, and we follow that path as it runs perpendicular to a winding row of mountains known as the Serpentine, until we come all the way to the far north into a town called, not a town, a city called Dawnseed, a bristling, large metropolis with very hilled, with homes that are built into many of the mountains and hillsides there. Large cobblestone roads, very much like a maritime city. It is on the northern coast of the country. There are also islands floating up just above the city, where a gleaming, sparkling collection of spires that everyone knows as the capital city castle, where the king of Solem resides. But we see that, but we go back down towards the city, towards a maybe 3 or 4 story tall brick building with tiled roofs that have plants kind of draping down from the roof. Plants across every window, bearing things like herbs and fruits, small, strange-looking mammals, unlike anything you've seen on your Earth before, crawl up and down, grabbing some of the smaller fruits and going about their way. And as we find the door, engraved in the door is a circle with an eye, and in the center of the eye, within its iris, a pentagram, and coming from the eye itself, spirals. We go through the door, and there is a large man, dark skin, hair cut close to his scalp, close cut beard with patches of gray, same with the hair, graying at the temples, wearing what looks like a large leather overcoat with fur lining. He looks both large, like very like well muscled, and also very comfortable. He stands at about 6'7", and he kind of is standing near a counter that looks like it's been abandoned and not used for some time. Not like massive dust or cobwebs, but it's just really beginning to get to that point. He looks at it, kind of gives a sigh, walks over to a table where a woman sits, wearing a collection of silver and white and gray robes. She is also dark-skinned, long hair. One side of it is shaved, and the other side just kind of trails over one side of her face. On the side that is shaved, you can see that she has a pointed ear, and smaller tusks come out from her lower mouth. She's very beautiful, and she seems fairly unassuming. As the man walks up to her, she looks up. Ah, hello, Duke. What can I do for you? Did you get the message too? Is that why you're here? And the man, apparently Duke, looks down. Right, yeah. Apparently, Iki's got some news for us here. And there is, from alongside them, a clinking of legs along the wood as the camera pans to a young green-skinned woman. Looks like she's maybe in her early 20s. Both sides of her head are shaved. A shock of green hair up top in kind of a... not quite a pompadour, not quite a mohawk. Kind of faux hockey territory, but not really. Beautiful jade green eyes. She sits in what looks like a brass chair with mechanical spider legs coming from the sides. And the legs kind of click, 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 click. And she says, no, it sounds like the how do I say this? And she seems nervous. She's like very nervously kind of fidgeting with her hands. She's wearing a kind of leather pants that stop at like thigh-high boots that are like black leather. There is a vest that she wears that is also corseted at the underbust down to her waist. And there are tools hanging from various like pockets and chains and kind of doodads attached to the vest. She wears a pair of worker's gloves. She kind of fidgets. No, I think from what I understand is that we got heroes. And both Duke and the other woman kind of turn in unison. And Duke kind of gets down on one knee so to be at eye level with this girl. You're shitting me, Carrera. We got heroes. But that's not meant to happen for... And Carrera nods. And the other woman, the half-orc, for another almost a year. This is highly unusual. And Carrera nods. Yeah, very unusual. Absolutely. You're definitely not wrong, Desi. It's weird. I think that's why we're here. And a door opens not far from where Carrera's come in. and a tall black woman with a shock of white curly hair that halos about her. Beautiful blue brocade jacket, robes actually, flow over what looks like a pantsuit of like black leather. She walks over to everyone with a very kind of serious look on her face, at which point both Desi, the half-orc, and Duke both stand at attention and both put hands to their chest.
Good to see a guild master. What's the word?
And the guild master looks at the both of them. Carrera's right. Heroes have come. I need you, with all speed, to head down to Dawngate and give them your assessment and get them ready. Because we're not the only ones who know. And if I'm not mistaken, shit's about to hit the fan. And as everyone looks at the Guildmaster, that is where we will end our episode. So tune in next time, where we will get, I believe, a training montage. And the first real combat of this campaign. Yep, I'm calling it right now. As we figure out what's going on, and we get to find out what our heroes are capable of. So, until then, stay tuned, stay safe, take care of each other, and of course yourselves. And as always, stick to the storied path, and may the dice roll ever in your favor. We'll see you next time. You have been listening to the Everbright Archive, a TTRPG actual play anthology series. This episode is from the campaign The Last Story. Your cast has been Madness Diamond as Lysandra Agni, Selkie Cove as Blaidd Laoghaire, Bardic Sweet Tea as Malachi Davis, Brynniursa as Jodie Bank, and Sphinx Akashaa as the Storyteller. For more information about our wonderful cast, access to the show's Discord server, or if you'd like to support our show via Ko-fi, please follow the beacons link in the show's description. We hope you continue to follow us as we continue to walk the storied path. May the dice roll ever in your favor.